Ugh, I'm on my phone again. My stupid chud life. I'm sorry. That was a weird. Very great decision of wearing this particular shirt on this super humid day. I don't really even know what kind of shirt this is supposed to be. It reminds me of like a fictional, like, archaeologist material. Like, it looks like this belongs in like Indiana Jones or Jumanji. Anyways, I've got like a off and on sort of thing going with like a serious topic and then a joke topic. So one for you, one for me here. I hate Buc-ee's. I hate the establishment known as Buc-ee's so much, and I interpret its existence in almost like religious terms, and what that spits out is the judgment that it is the most insufferable place on the planet. I drove out to Indianapolis and then I came back for the Indianapolis 500, which I am very blessed and very grateful and very fortunately able to attend on a yearly basis now. This is my third year going. And on the drive back, we hit what I think is the northernmost Buc-ee's location. It's in like Ohio somewhere. So we hit there on the drive back. The person that I was driving with, they had been, to Buc-ee's previously, and they were, I think, on their own trip to like Florida or something, maybe the Carolinas. I can't remember. Long story short, they'd been to a Buc-ee's before, and they're like, oh, it's nice because, it's one of those gimmicky things that people latch onto, right? And everybody loves Buc-ee's. And so I'm like, sure, let's stop at Buc-ee's. I want to check this out. I want to see what this is really all about. And I knew, obviously, what Buc-ee's was going in, but I did not know all of what Buc-ee's is. And that is a very, very key distinction to be made because, wow, it is the most I can't stand it. I cannot stand Buc-ee's. The experience I had in there was the worst thing ever. I hate it so much. I mean, and what are you going to do? You make a gas station the size of a Walmart and just let people loose. Like, of course, looking back and actually contemplating what Buc-ee's is and what it's supposed to be in its, like, essence, of course it's going to be the worst place ever, at least to me, based on things that I value, right? So we pull up and it's already a pretty busy time. We might have got there at like noon-ish, I don't know. A lot of cars getting gas, a lot of cars parked up, a lot of people flooding in and out, which would be revealed as we got closer to the front door. But, we park up pretty far away from the entrance because it's, quite busy. The first thing that I don't like about it is those parking lots. I don't know if it's just this location, but I would assume it's probably universal, is the sheer scale of the parking lots. Like, they're unnecessarily massive, it seems. I mean, there's obviously a practical purpose to it. A place that's meant to be as busy as a Buc-ee's is meant to be. It makes sense that, like, there's friggin', I don't know, like, parking spaces that are 5 feet wider than they need to be, and lanes that are not really lanes, but they're huge. The other thing to consider is that, like, all the space that they have where a car could theoretically drive has come at the cost of, like, a walkway or a sidewalk, right? Those do not exist in this Buc-ee's parking lot. Which, I mean, you're still walking very safely, because, again, very spacious parking lots. You're walking very safely through the roads and all of that. And I'm not really a stickler for that kind of stuff anyways. But just, I hate the scale of it. I hate the scale of the parking lots. It's such a, I can't quite describe what's so bothersome about it. But it was just like, ugh, I don't want to be here. Ugh. And also the fact that the entire parking lot was concrete. And the very smooth, very freshly laid, borderline like white concrete, which seeing that en masse is a little weird, a little nasty. Okay, wow, 2 minutes of describing just the parking lot. Okay, this is great. And yeah, and so me and my co-traveler, we walk in, and I'm filled with dread immediately. Maybe it's like an overstimulation thing, but I am not having it, you know? There's already like two massive lines that we're like going against because we're walking past like two or three different cashier stands, trying to get in, and they're on either side of the entrance. And so you have massive line of people here, massive line of people here, and then and then a lot of people actively walking into the store in the middle here. So terrible. And then the first thing you get to is, again, because the whole place is a gimmick, and it's gimmicks upon gimmicks, it's layers and layers. And so the first thing you really get to is like the jerky, like the beef jerky and all that. Never really been a jerky person. I can understand, why people would, but there's just so many options, and there's nuts as well. There's so many options for that. So we're kind of perusing this for a little. Gosh, my nose is really itchy. I don't know why. Ugh. So, all of this stuff, we're perusing this for a couple of moments, and then somebody yells, and I'm like, what is that? And in the middle of a Buc-ee's, I guess, there's just like the brisket stuff that they do, like all the pulled meats, all the barbecue that they do, and they announce it very loudly when they're laying a new slab of meat on the board. Yeah, I mean, and I get why they do that. I'm not gonna really judge it in and of itself, but in the situation, it's just like, oh great, another stimuli. Like let's get any more. I don't know. Anyways, and more or less, it's just this sort of cycle as we tour through basically the entire Buc-ee's. It's just, oh my goodness, there's so many people, there's so many gimmicks stacked on top of gimmicks, and it's so loud in here because of both the people and the brisket people in the middle. The one redeeming quality, I will say, is the bathroom. I very much understand the concept of the Buc-ee's bathroom for some reason. And they're so greatly decent that, like, for the urinals specifically, there are entire walls separating the urinals, like, not just like flimsy plastic stuff attached to it that only goes about halfway. It is like basically your own space, and I can appreciate that, I guess. That's pretty nice. I think eventually the only thing I got for myself was like a chicken sandwich. It was like basically like a knockoff Chick-fil-A sandwich. Like, it had a pseudo Chick-fil-A sauce that was on it, and that was pretty good. I'll admit that was all right. That tasted pretty good, but otherwise, again, it's just this cycle of there's too many people here, and it's very crowded, and there's a lot going on, and I hate the sheer volume of gimmicks that are kind of going on with this place. I just hate it. And I don't know why I even had this thought in the moment. And it's like kind of a weird thing to unironically think. And I certainly would not joke about such a thing. But in the moment, I'm thinking like these are the screams of like the damned, right? Like this is the ugliest chorus of noises and visual stimuli and knowledge and just everything all at once. And so I just hated it. I hate Buc-ee's. I hated Buc-ee's so much. I don't think I ever want to step foot in a Buc-ee's again. I understand I'm in the minority here, and I'm willing to beef that, but I'm not so willing as to stay quiet. I genuinely despise this establishment. If I were president, I'm issuing an executive order to shut it all down tomorrow. I'm just and assume the properties as state territory. Like I'm good.